Welcome to the place where we learn about and learn from the leaders in our field who are powering creativity. I'm Aaron Dworkin, and this is Arts Engines. I hope you will check out my newest game, Chatter Art, the world's most unique word game where every move changes previous words on the board. Start from today's global word, place yours, and watch connected words chatter into something new. Play Heads Up or Verse AI. It is quick, clever, and addictive and is available on the App Store and Play Store. Thanks again for joining me here on Arts Engines. Today's guest is Diana Wyenn, who is a director, a choreographer, and is the creative director of Imagine US. Diana, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here with you.
Well, it's a pleasure of mine and so excited to talk with you about Imagine US, and especially because our creative partner for this show, Interlochen, which as many of the people in our audience know, I am a very, very proud alum of Interlochen, the Arts Academy, just a few years ago. And so the work that Interlochen does is so exciting. And so I'm so excited to talk with you. And so why don't we actually kind of just dive right in? If you could kind of share with the audience kind of what is Imagine US overall? What is the scope and the goals, etc.? So many people are doing different work that are involved in this unique year in our history. So could you kind of help share that kind of overview?
Yeah, definitely. No, it's really exciting how everybody is looking at America at 250 right now. And I think it's really special how Interlochen has chosen to do so with this particular tour. And this particular tour is in collaboration with Boston Symphony Orchestra, Detroit Symphony Orchestra, and the Philadelphia Orchestra as well. They're looking at America through a lens that puts together an entire program around three unique works. So we've got Charles Ives' Fourth Symphony. Charles Ives was a maverick of his time. And so it's great to be looking at his work. And I think he even wrote his own version of the Constitution. So somebody who was very politically engaged in his own time. Then we also have a newer work by Rena Esmail called Remember. She wrote it in reflection to the pandemic, this moment where we're coming back together after time, which felt really, really important at this moment to reflect on that as well. And then we move forward into a new commission. Wynton Marsalis is creating this cello concerto that will be played by Yo-Yo Ma and Joshua McClendon. And so this whole program is then wrapped in a devised work by the students of Interlochen Arts Academy. So it'll feature works by all the different disciplines. So we're really coming at this project from all sides. And so there will be music, of course, as our foundation. And then building up from there, we've got actors and dancers and visual artists and filmmakers and more.
This totally extraordinary project. So I encourage everyone, go to Interlochen's site, check out when things are happening and all of that. So hopefully you can experience it. And so, right, so here on Arts Engines, right, we often focus in terms of, kind of what's the macro, how do these things actually get done? So what you just described, right, it seems very moving, obviously very so relevant to right now. And obviously the key artists involved are, at such an extraordinary level. So I'm thinking about all of that actually happening and happening
Right.
simply. And so, and this kind of role of a creative director. So can you kind
Yeah.
of share with us kind of first, what is the scope of your role kind of, and how do you look at what are so many moving pieces and kind of what's your approach to that?
Yeah. Well, it's multi-dimensional, I guess I'll say. It's a huge, enormous endeavor that Interlochen is undertaking, and I'm really, really proud to be at the helm of it as the creative director. And what really attracted me to the project was that they were most interested in raising the visibility for the creative youth development movement and kind of uplifting the voices of these high school students, of these artists at this moment in time. I think it's really important at this moment in history that we're reflecting on all 250 years and what's to come with the youth voice. And so it was really important to me to get in the room with these students. We've identified students from all the 7 different disciplines at the divisions at Interlochen. And so I've been meeting with them over time, and the creative writers are helping write the script, and the musicians are creating like a whole new score that will go to a live film that the filmmakers are doing. So yes, it is so huge. And at the center of it, I'm standing there holding the core, but inspired by what these students have been offering. Because from the beginning, we started off by asking questions of like, what do you find challenging at this moment in time? And what do you appreciate? What do you cherish about living in the United States at this time? And the answers are rich, nuanced, very, very diverse, and really, really inspiring. And so I was very much guided by what they had to say, and also guided by Interlochen's actual core values. So at Interlochen, they have a couple core values that they anchor everything with. And it's actually been beautiful to take those core values and move them into this space of celebrating and reflecting on the country at this moment. So like Solui Tutti is about self-determination and community and being drawn together, which is another one of their values, is looking at the beauty and strength in the complexity and diversity of our country. There's a beautiful idea about like things come from just an idea. And at one point, this country was just an idea or a collection of ideas that were brought together. So really looking at the power of imagination and art and asking this like, what if? And if we did that at the 250 years ago, what's the what if for right now? And then finally looking at, they talk a lot about the artist's journey for these students, and really thinking about how that correlates to finding one's own path and the idea of the American dream. So it's been kind of taking all these disparate, beautiful ideas, all of their artistry, and weaving it into one cohesive program that will take us from the past with Ives to the present with Rena Esmail's beautiful work, and then move us forward into the future with this new commission by Wynton Marsalis.
So this is like just such an extraordinary, right, vision, creative vision process. So then also there must be, I assume, key kind of like artistic leadership on stage and who are kind of taking this and actually bringing it to life for the audiences.
Yes, definitely. One of the things that I love most about this project is that I get to collaborate with Maestro Christian Machelaru, who is such a unique, special human and artist. And it's really remarkable because Aaron, like you, Maestro went to Interlochen. So he really understands the journey that these students are on. And I've gotten to watch him work with the students on other projects during some of my earlier visits to the campus. And it was incredible to watch him just pull such artistry out of these students. So I'm very excited because I'm doing all this work with all of my advisors leading up to this moment. And I'm really, really excited for them to meet him on stage and give him, he'll be at the helm up there and making this beautiful event happen night after night.
It's just so incredible. And again, of course, so many artists, Winton and others, Yo-Yo, and it just truly
Yeah.
incredible. And I just think even how some of those, ideals from Interlochen just, were so played such a major and pivotal role in my entire life, and from leaving there, and especially as a student, those experiences, I didn't get to experience this. And so I'm just so happy for the students who are going to be able to experience this kind of artistic expression, and it's such a moment when, as you said, it's so relevant to who we are as a society.
Mhm.
Um, as you mentioned, right, there's this breadth and all of these different ideas and disciplines and so on and so forth. And so I'm sure there are, those in our audience who are watching who led different things creatively, administratively, whatever it might be, and they have a number of different disparate people and individuals with individual ideas or
Yes.
individual creativity. And yet they have this role, sometimes a challenge of creating, as I think you said, a cohesive, kind of singular artistic experience that ultimately results. Just wondering, are there any kind of techniques that you utilize as a leader to kind of bring cohesion from these different, so that the ultimate audience experiences a singular artistic experience?
Yeah, definitely. I so appreciate this question because I feel like the thing that I do and I lean on a lot is I listen because you're creating one whole experience. I feel like every time I walk into a project, I have ideas. Visions in my head of what can possibly come together. Um, but what's most exciting to me is that that meets my entire team where they're at. And that it's actually about all of our unique perspectives and ideas coming together to create this moment in time. Like, what are we interested in saying at this time in this city with this particular work of art? And so a lot of it is about listening to their perspectives, and then starting to find the threads that can be woven into this beautiful tapestry. Because kind of like this country, I think our diversity and our complexity is actually a huge part of our beauty. And so by taking all these different threads and putting them together, you actually get something that is holistic, but reflects so many more voices than if I were to say, here's what we're going to do. I just don't think that's as interesting. I don't think it's as um, exciting and challenging. So it's a lot of listening and a lot of weaving and a lot of re reflecting back and saying, this is what I'm hearing. And honoring their contributions while also making decisions on what gets presented ultimately and what doesn't. I've been really, really impressed by these students because sometimes, it's like, oh, this might not be right for this project. And all of us are like, but this is incredible. So definitely keep writing that and cultivating that. That might turn into a whole other work. So there's something about that that's really exciting to me. But I feel like listening is key.
I love, and especially that ability, right, as a leader to make decisions and make sure that the ultimate goal is reached, but in such a with such a collaborative approach. Absolutely wonderful, totally fantastic. Unfortunately, we are just about out of time. But I always like to ask of all of my guests, this work, right? Right. It sounds like it is so much fun, and there's joy, and all of the
Yeah.
different artists, from the
Oh,
students
yeah.
to extraordinary professionals that you're working with. But there's also probably got to be some challenging days, or days where things don't always flow right, things like that. Just wondering, as a leader, what do you do to kind of either get past what sometimes might seem like an insurmountable obstacle, or when days are just like seem to be caving in? What do you do?
I pause. I pause. I definitely connect to my why in that moment. Like, what are we all working towards? Because sometimes when it's going wild, it's actually because a lot of people are really passionate and really committed to the work, and something on the outside just is not clicking or is not coming together. And so it becomes really, really important to kind of take a step back, take a breath. I try to infuse a lot of breath into my practice, and then reconnect to why we're doing it. Remind ourselves of the goal that we're all headed towards. Because I feel like a lot of times the answer is in the people around me. And so by reconnecting to like my why and looking at their whys, I can move forward. And I will say the other thing that I do when stuff is kind of going off the rails is I eat. Like a lot of times either breaking bread together is really important, or you're just really like under fueled. I mean, I have type 1 diabetes, so like that fuels, like it changes my practice, right? And so my relationship to food is an incredibly nuanced one. But sometimes I feel like when things are just going rough, it's like pause for a second and eat something you enjoy. Yeah.
I absolutely love that and definitely plan to follow that advice for sure. Diana Wyenn, you truly are one of the arts engines who is powering human creativity in our world. Thank you so much for everything that you do for our art form, for our audiences, for our young people, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
I hope you will check out my newest game, Chatter Art, the world's most unique word game where every move changes previous words on the board. Start from today's global word, place yours, and watch connected words chatter into something new. Play Heads Up or Verse AI. It is quick, clever, and addictive and is available on the App Store and Play Store.